Okay, so shall we discuss the episode of the week?
Yes.
Yes.
Awesome.
It was that was quite possibly the best episode of the season.
Yes.
So much singing.
Oh my gosh, yes.
But it was all awesome, and it
It
all
was. And
was.
I love how they give new depth to these characters.
Mm-hmm.
Like before she was always just a villain, a dude bitch. But it gives you more depth to it, more reason behind it.
Yeah. Well, she was a bully for the sake of being a bully up until this episode. We didn't know exactly
Yes.
what caused her to be a bully. I mean, she was kind of a flat antagonist. She just I'm a bully because I'm a bully. There was no reasoning behind it. Now we got a
Yes.
glimpse into why she was the way she was. Hopefully, was in the past tense, using the past tense there, because from now on, she's kind of
I'm
learned
pretty
her.
sure she's back to. She's a good guy now.
Yeah, she's learned her lesson, and she's going to turn. Now, what this may end up getting us to is, in her power vacuum, the vacuum she left as a bully, we may see somebody come into town that's a bully, another bully, and then Diamond Tiara has to go fight her, basically. Not fighter, but has to go deal with her and try and redeem her. That might be an interesting episode, but all the music in this episode is awesome, and it all propels the show
Yes.
forward, and the whole thing is well paced. I could have used just a little more time on that ending scene after they get the marks, but
Mm-hmm.
other than that, and maybe just like here and there micro fractures of pacing, it was a perfectly paced episode. You never felt it never slowed to a crawl, and it never ran so fast that you got lost in what they were doing. Everything was
Yes, and there wasn't extraneous details, and they gave just the right type of details there. A
yeah.
lot of episodes and a lot of shows in general tend to give you the wrong kind of information, the wrong kind of details within this thing. This one was just perfect.
Yeah, I love how it's finally revealed what Diamond Tiara's key marks meant.
Yeah.
Yes.
Making others do what I want them to do.
Well, and see, and as you noticed, there's something nice that they did with this, with her mark. In the beginning, when she's doing her little, I'm going to blackmail you because I know all your secrets sort of thing. And then she turns that around and uses it as a leadership trait. Instead of
Yes.
using those against them, she says, hey, you're super strong. Could you go help them?
Yes.
Using it in a very positive way. That's a very leaderly way of doing things.
Yeah.
And I liked that. That was a nice turnaround on that.
Mhm. Yeah.
Let's see. We saw that Sweetie Belle's magic is getting much stronger. She was able to lift Pipsqueak.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't have anywhere near that before.
Yeah, but Pipsqueak probably doesn't weigh anything.
Yeah, but that's a lot heavier than anything else I think she's lifted with her magic. That's a lot heavier.
Except I think the broom.
I think Pipsqueak weighs more than a broom. We need a scale. We shall use my largest scales. If Pipsqueak weighs more than a broom, she's a witch.
Auntie probably found
I
everybody.
thought that's where you were getting it to.
Oh, I like that they brought along that soapbox, or I guess this is a soapbox for Pipsqueak.
Yes.
Oh, and the funny thing,
Impromptu stage.
yeah, and the funny thing is also that this is the second time she's been Diamond Tiara's been overthrown by a tiny competitor. Or, she's been replaced with a tinier competitor. Because who replaced her in the was it Ponyville Confidential when they run the newspaper?
I think it's Pipsqueak. No,
it was Lightweight.
No,
it was Featherweight.
Featherweight. Yeah.
Featherweight.
Yeah, Featherweight took over. This time, Pipsqueak took over. So it's always the smaller pony that takes over. I find that kind of an interesting thing. One thing I did like, though, also is that Pipsqueak didn't have anything ridiculous he was saying. Like, you'll see in some of these... I remember when I was watching these sorts of things as a kid, like, the student council president candidates would always make outlandish promises there was no way they could keep. Whereas Pipsqueak, was like, I'm going to...
Pipsqueak's type of personality, either.
Yeah. But I like that was something they did. They avoided that. It's like, I will go talk to the school board, and see if I can do this. It's a reasonable goal that is attainable. And I like that.
I like the fact that she, bossed her parents. She was so upset because her parents were so harsh on her, and yet she just bossed him around so easily. Because that's her talent.
Yeah. One thing I found kind of interesting was also, I guess the statue and window from Diamond Tiara's twisted egotistical logic at the time was supposed to help her with the voters. Like, she thinks everybody loves her, so adding more Diamond Tiara is only a good thing. Mm-hmm. The faces in this episode are amazing. Especially Diamond Tiara, she has so many faces.
I loved that triple chin thing that she and her mom both did. I worked so hard to screen cap that. I actually had to close the program I was watching it in and watch it in a different program just to screen cap those scenes, but it was so worth it. Yeah.
I think people are calling it the Aaron Hansen face of Game Grumps. He's a guy who is a YouTube channel called Game Grumps, and they had they don't usually have a lot of things where you actually see their faces, but they've had little skits, I think, and that was one of them. He makes that kind of face, and it's really funny. But let's see. We already talked about blackmail as a political technique.
She even tried a little bit of a smear campaign.
Yeah. One thing about that one thing about that blackmail technique she was using, doesn't it lose some punch if you expose it while you're singing? It's like, your massive teeth. Well, now it's out there. I don't really have anything to fear from you because it's already out there. So,
I was thinking the same thing.
Go eat a pine cone. Let's see. Already talked about that. She tried to do a little bribery there. And then she treats Silver Spoon, her only ally, her only friend there, only true friend like garbage, and then doesn't listen to her, and is surprised when she betrays her.
But why? I don't know, because maybe you're a bitch.
Yeah. Her turning on her drama was pretty satisfying. Especially the little, at the end of it, just to kind of punctuate it, just closing her mouth for her. It's like...
Yes.
It was such a... We're done with you. We're done dealing with your garbage. Okay? We are done with that. Let's see, I did that. That's a failed line I don't really care about anymore. I was going to say. Yeah, this... let's see. Of course, we see where her attitude comes from. Her mother is an elitist jerk. We don't know anything about filthy rich.
He
And
seems generally nice.
yeah, he was nice to Granny Smith and the apples, so I don't know whether that's going to be that was all her mother, or that was, was her father away a lot on business, and then she's mostly left with her mother, and her mother is like that, and so that's how she got so impressed by that, whereas her father was more, kind, and I mean, he was nice to the apples. I mean, he's like, they're our business partners. Let's be nice to them, And yeah, I don't know exactly how much of that was her mother and how much of that was filthy rich. He seemed nicer, but in Family Appreciation Day, which we're doing later, I think. So we'll see. I'm not sure what the name of the song was, but Would You Believe or Pony I Wanna Be. That was just amazing.
Yes.
That was it. All the songs in this episode were just amazing. Perfect character pieces.
Yes.
Yeah, and after when they're one thing I noticed, like when they leave the schoolhouse, a little tag of "Would You Believe" still plays. It's light and it's not sung, but it's a little tag of the song is played after that.
Yeah.
It was nice also to see the CMC being kind, even to Diamond Tiara. I mean, just like, she's never cared about anybody else's feelings, but that doesn't mean we have to be jerks.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this is also where we kind of see that when they get to the clubhouse, how she doesn't understand her mark. And if you don't understand your mark, in a way, you don't understand yourself. Mm-hmm. She's slightly jealous of the Crusaders, but one thing that happened throughout the episode was parts of... I know it happened once, I think, on the bridge in Would You Believe? Not like the bridges in the music, but like when she's actually standing on the bridge. Like the baubles at the top of the tiara started to glow. And that may have been... And then when she finally does completely understand what her role is, understand who she is and what she can do that's good, her whole mark glows. And when she started to doubt the way she was acting, the little bit of baubles started to glow. It's like, yeah, you're starting to get it, but you're not there yet. And then it glowed fully in the last bit of revelation. I liked that touch. And I think that may be what we start to see with new CMC episodes, is they, the Q Mark counselors or whatever, they, when they fight with them, when they're working with them, you see them start to glow. Not quite fully glowing yet, but and then when they finally have the revelation about who they are, the whole thing glows again. But there was a one of the things that there was a bit of one kind of stanza that I thought was very telling on Diamond Tiara's personality and kind of what she was taught to believe. You don't even know me at all. Don't understand the meaning of my fall. My family would think if I ever fail at anything. I'm a diamond, that means you'll never break, no matter what be the cost of the path I take. Whatever I have to do to win in the end. that tells you a lot about what she was taught. Don't know who taught her, which one of them taught her, all of it, but we know, or at least her mother taught her, that sort of thing. But
Yeah.
that pretty much, that attitude tells you it explains 99.99% of her behavior for the entire series up until this point. The CMC aren't judging her in that song. They're encouraging her to be better, to make a different choice, but they're not, you can, come out from the dark, and it is, it's a nice surprise at the end where that song and all that didn't, it wasn't for nothing. It wasn't completely without merit, because at the end, that may have been the final thing that really made her understand. I mean, I think the final straw was her mother. That one really, she just had enough. She finally had enough of it, and it's like, I'm done with your garbage. I want friends.
Think it was more the fact that these guys, I was a bitch to them, and they stood by me and helped me. You're my family, and you are being a complete a-hole to me, and now you're insulting the only people who actually have ever cared about me.
Yeah.
So you stand by people who take care of you, people who help you.
Yeah.
Not.
Yeah. And that was so great when she stood up to her. Is like, no, I'm done. I'm done being that.
That was just like, brought tears to my eyes. I'm like, yes.
Yeah. That was, this had lots of, the feels
Yes,
kind of moments.
Oh my gosh.
Let's see, going on down my list. Let's see. We get we find out that their cutie marks are all they all have a little bit of each other's main color in them, so that all of them you can put them all on the base fur, and you'd still be able to see them. Because if you look at the mark, it's a tricolor, and they use the main colors for that. And I like that because it kind of permanently leaves a little piece of each of them with them.
Yes.
And that was really cool.
Yeah, it's so
And it gives credence to what everybody has been saying all along. When you stop looking for it, that's when you find it.
Yeah. Let's see. And their talent is apparently helping others find their marks. Now, they seem to have two talents. They have the talent that's kind of in the center, apple for Apple Bloom, music note for Sweetie Belle, and wing for Scootaloo, which I'm curious about.
Was
because
that a wing? It looked more like a lightning bolt to me.
I think it was a wing. I can check the gallery here in a second. Which makes me wonder. I'll check it again. Be down in the bottom. I think it's a wing. Which, if that's the case,
Do you mean a cooked chicken wing?
now let's not turn into diamond tiaras.
God, I'm hungry.
Okay. Yeah, they make a really nice. It looks like a wing to me.
Should have been a scooter.
It's a wing with a lightning bolt in it, is what it is.
I didn't see the wing. I just saw.
Yeah, you got the shield, and then on top of that you've got like a purple wing, and then a pink lightning bolt within the wing.
Nice.
Which, makes me wonder: is she going to be a late bloomer? Like, she couldn't really fly that well the entire series up until now. She could fly a little bit, she could hover, but she couldn't really fly with strength. And it makes me wonder if she'll... she was just a late bloomer and she'll burst out with some crazy speed or something eventually. I mean, it's just a thought, because it's odd that they used a wing. They could have just used a lightning bolt or a scooter or a wheel or something like that.
Yeah.
But they chose to use a wing. But that makes me wonder about what they're going to do with her. Was she actually going to be super talented in the future? The ultimate reward of a QD mark is that the rewarder is understanding and accepting yourself. Is that the real ultimate reward here? Let's see. Oh, and the super feels of, if Ma and Pa were here, they'd be proud of you.
Oh my gosh, yes.
They're all crying, and it's just like,
And someone's gonna make a comic where they're like on vacation.
if they ever bring them back like that, torches and
No, they're not
pitchforks.
on vacation. They're prisoners of war in another empire.
That sounds badass.
They became spies for Celestia.
Dun 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 dun.
No one expects the apple farmers. But
They come back with completely different accents.
yeah, it's been so hammered into kind of all but saying that they're dead, that it just, if they decide to turn from that, that's, I mean, because people have so much built up in the way they think about these characters based off of,
Especially like the one scene with the I forget which episode it was. I think it was the one with the family reunion, and Applejack was looking to the sky talking about it, and there's two meteors that you saw.
yeah, that was heavily implied and kind of word of godded that was kind of supposed to be a tribute to their parents, that they were there with them in spirit.
Yeah. So if they suddenly go and hold on one sec. No using my real name when I'm on the thing. What? What? Hold on a sec. I have a little coup de head to deal with.
And while she's gone, let us have a moment of silence for all the headcanons that were totally destroyed.
And the few that were completely verified. There's a good fan fiction out there. It is sad as all get out, and I would, but I still would recommend reading it. If you liked this episode, it's no longer a possible canon story, but it's one I enjoy. It came up on EQD a while back. It's Why Am I Crying? It's let me see if I can find the author real quick. I've got it bookmarked, but I won't spoil any of it. Rated Pony Star was the author. It's really good. I'd recommend, if you liked this episode, or you just want to see more or less, do you want to see a story about Diamond Tiara? That is a wow story.
Okay, what WoW story did I miss?
Oh, I was just talking about if you liked this, if you like story, you want a story about Diamond Tiara. There's a fan fiction by Rated Pony Star called "Why Am I Crying," and it's really I enjoyed it heavily, but it is really sad as well. So be warned. But it's really good, and it's a Diamond Tiara redemption story.
If it's that good, we should do it in a reading sometime.
Well, I mean, it. Just be prepared for some getting choked up a little bit, some feels.
I just want to cry. I'm not crying. I'm a man.
But it's yeah. Anyway, but that's about all I had to say about the episode. It was amazing. It was great. It was everything I hoped Crusaders getting their marks episode would be. And we got Diamond Tiara in there as well, redeemed. So, I mean, what more could you ask?
Well, I mean, there's...
I kind of hope that she and Silver Spoon make up.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I understand on the one hand, friendships, that sort of thing happens. You get into fights, but the kind of friends they are, they'll end up forgiving each other eventually. I would presume.
Yeah, I think she's gonna have. It may take an episode or two. There may be an episode of her kind of winning everybody back.
Yeah,
and kind of proving that she's no longer a bully, and again, she may have to stand up against a bully and say, "No, I was where you are at."
Yeah,
and I know what it's like to be on that side of the coin. I was a jerk, but I saw the light, and I no longer am that jerk. I'm a better pony, and you can be one too.
I noticed something.
in these episodes, they are
In the current, not season, but you know what I mean. The current set, they've been doing a kind of a link. Like they went and they started with Rarity, Rainbow Dash, Rarity, and Applejack, and then from there they're sisters, and then from there another Cutie Mark episode, another Crusaders episode. So there's been kind of a link between each episode.
Okay. Well, this Saturday is, it's something to do with Pinky. I don't know what. But it says the episode title, which is as far as I'll go with spoilers, is the one where Pinkie Pie knows. I haven't read anything further than that, but it's apparently something with Pinkie Pie. So not really spoilers there. It's in the title of the episode.
I know. I saw the title while I was looking for the Cutie Mark Crusader thing.
Yeah. Not spoiling anything. That's the name of the next episode.